So, Hometown Productions here, right after the Stettler election forum. We're here with Bonnie Critchley, running as an independent. I guess, first off, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a 22-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces. So, as I said in my ending speech, I'm just a cranky old vet, and watching the decay of our democracy with somebody who not only lost his seat but lost an election, suddenly deciding that we are the perfect tool and stepping stone for his career, that just didn't sit right with me. Like, I just couldn't stomach watching somebody abuse the democratic system like that. So I threw my hat in the ring, and, well, here we are.
I guess, what's your interpretation of tonight's debate there?
Well, it's not a debate, it's a forum, because we're not allowed to actually debate. We had to behave. And so it was just a place for each of us to speak our ideas, and there is a wide variety of ideas within the candidates running for Battle River-Crowfoot. But for the most part, I can't remember who said it, but we all want the same things. We just have different views on how we're going to get there. But the biggest thing for me is the people here want local representation. They want somebody who understands and knows the issues here in Battle River-Crowfoot.
I think you pointed out, I believe it was the first debate, you asked who can vote on this stage.
Less than a third of the crowd put their hands up because a certain candidate had bussed in supporters and booked up all the seats.
So really it was more of a question to the crowd. I interpreted more of a question to the other candidates at the table.
Well, it was both, because I looked out at the crowd, but the cameras didn't show it. Less than a third went up.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, we all saw who could vote here in Battle River-Crowfoot. Mm-hmm. And it's not the one individual who thinks he should use us to further his career.
So turning to policy there was a lot of different topics discussed tonight. I know yourself, you mentioned healthcare becoming something federal. Other topics that you felt were important to talk about tonight?
Well, I didn't really get into my right to repair, or I got to touch on agricultural innovation. The biggest thing is I want to pull things back from corporations. I want our government to stop selling us out to offshore corporations. I want things to come back to Canada, and I want our neighbors and our neighborhoods to be able to build without spending all of our money and having it just leave.
Yeah, I guess you said that was another one, giving the Competition Bureau more teeth. I know that that's been an issue, as you mentioned, with the telecoms there.
Right. Not just the Competition Bureau, which manages and prevents these giant monopolies. I mean, I was absolutely disgusted when I realized that Veterans Affairs had third-party contracted out Loblaws for care of our vets. And I can tell you from personal experience, it wasn't fun.
I guess, what does that military experience bring to politics here?
It brings to this table, I have the ability to take in rapid amount of information very rapidly, make quick decisions with an understanding of how it's going to affect my immediate field and the overall field around me. And then, so I can make those decisions quickly, and I can pivot on a dime if that decision, well, you know what, it was sort of half there, but the best way is over here instead. I can do that. I can say, oh, this path isn't working, let's go over here.
I guess just to wrap up here, we've been asking the independents, obviously, it's been a different situation as these longest ballot folks have joined the race. I know that you put out a letter on your website asking them not to. They obviously didn't listen, but I guess what's the perspective of an independent now with 216 candidates?
The longest ballot committee is supposed to be about electoral reform, but what they've done instead is immediately abusing electoral reform. They are working counter to their stated goals. 2025 general election was the first election where candidates were not required to pay an administrative fee to get on the ballot. So they stacked the ballot with 91 candidates. This also forces us further into the party system and doesn't allow for actual legitimate independent candidates to run because we are buried. It's not going to affect Monsieur Poilievre at all. But for the independents, it makes us impossible to find, especially when Elections Canada is offering two lists. The first one is alphabetically, and the second one pulls the parties to the top, and the rest is alphabetical. So the longest ballot committee is working extremely counter to their stated intentions, and I'd really like them to just go away.
Anything else we haven't touched on there today?
It's that this is not not an ego trip for me. This is not something for my personal aspirations. This is simply me seeing something that's wrong and knowing that I can't sit and watch it continue to be wrong. That we here in Battle River-Crowfoot need a voice in Parliament. We need a voice who knows us, who speaks our words. And that is what my goal is simply to be the voice for all of my neighbors.
Well, thanks for this today, Bonnie, and best of luck there.
For sure. Cheers. Have a good day.